The KDKA Sports Desk is brought to you by Xfinity.
Welcome back. We talked about the Steelers in the first segment of the show. Let's switch over to talk about Pitt. They are in Detroit already. They'll be spending the holiday there as they get ready for the Quick Lane Bowl. They take on Eastern Michigan on Thursday. Panthers right now at 7-5. Now, this is why this game is kind of important. Not only does it wrap up their season, and the players obviously want to get a win to send out their seniors on a winning note, but at the same time, Pitt, under head coach Pat Narduzzi, so far 0-3 in bowl games, trying to get that first bowl game victory. Of course, last year in the Sun Bowl, they lost to Stanford 14-13. And the players talked about it as much. Kenny Pickett mentioned how they want to send their seniors out on a good note. So did Paris Ford. And they talked about how they admire those guys and what those guys mean to the program. But they're also very adamant about helping their head coach get a win for the first time in a bowl game. So all those things kind of piled together. But Thursday night in Detroit is the Quick Lane Bowl between Pitt and Eastern Michigan. And I'm sure we'll talk about that over the coming days about what we expect from that game. Now, here's one thing I will talk about, because we haven't talked about that a lot during the course of this week, is if you want to peel back some of the things from Pitt season that actually are worth carrying forward. I think the play of the defensive line is one of those things. Jalen Twyman so far has been named to 6 All-American teams in the postseason. I think having Paris Ford starting to emerge as a defensive back, being an all-ACC selection, is something you look at as a positive. But if there's something, obviously, that people may still be frustrated with, I think it's the offense. Last season, it was the fact that the offense couldn't really find any kind of consistency as far as throwing the football. This time around, sometimes the throwing consistency was there, but the scoring consistency wasn't. So there's a lot of things there that you still shake up, and maybe the result comes out every time. Maybe you turn the bottle over and try to figure out what's going on when you mix up this Pitt team. But maybe we'll have a little bit more clarity as we go into this bowl game on Thursday. 412-575-2600, taking your phone calls on the Bordas & Bordas hotline here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. One of the things that we talked about last night, I wanted to stretch this a little bit further and kind of carry this into tonight's show. And it's also a topic I talked about quite a bit earlier today when I filled in for Cook and Joe on 93.7 The Fan. What is the best thing that happened in this calendar year in 2019? This is a calendar year sports-wise that had a lot of bad news. We saw the Penguins get swept in the playoffs by the Islanders. That's something we didn't see coming. We saw the Pirates season once again start to piece by piece, brick by brick, slowly deteriorate, especially ending with injuries towards the end of it all and some players underperforming, especially after Josh Bell had such a strong month of May in 2019. Maybe that's a vote for some people as far as the best thing they saw happen in 2019 was Josh Bell, that historic month of May that he had. We saw the Steelers season, of course, the fall apart the way it did so quickly. We saw 6 quarters of Ben Roethlisberger in 2019. 6 quarters, not 6 games, 6 quarters. And that was all we got. And when you have that happen so early and lose that so quickly, it's going to change your outlook and expectation for a season. And it's one thing I keep kind of reminding myself when we look at where we are at this point. When you lose a quarterback that's played in 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of them, and you got 6 quarters out of that guy, and that's probably the guy that can make your offense so much more complete given everything that's gone wrong, it's going to stick out. But at the same time, the way this defense is played is one of the things you look at as one of the best things that's happened around this team. This is a top 5 unit. It's one of the top 5 in points allowed, one of the top 5 in yardage allowed. It's tops in takeaways. This is a group that's one of the tops as far as sacks is concerned. So when you see how that defense has developed with guys like TJ Watt, with Bud Dupree and the way that he's worked this season, having double-digit sacks, the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade being a big line of demarcation as to when things started to swing around, when maybe this team started to get a little bit more apt towards taking the ball away. I think that's something that adds up too. And that's despite the loss of a guy like Stephon Tuitt, who's one of their veteran guys on that defensive line. But it's opened up opportunities for guys like Javon Hargrave, who stepped up and played well. Tyson Alualu, who's been pretty dynamic in the opportunities that he's gotten. So while you have had some issues with the defense and guys that you've lost, you've had other guys that have stepped in and played pretty well. The trade and draft to get Devin Bush in the first round is something that I chalk up in 2019 as a thing that kind of adds to the story of this defense and what it's become. All those things kind of come together and create one great story as far as the Steelers defense in 2019. Other positive things I'm looking at. Slippery Rock making it to the semifinals in the Division II playoffs. I think that's an outstanding story, and their quarterback had an amazing season. So that's one thing I look at. We love to give shout-outs to our friends over at the Riverhounds in the season that they had getting to the playoffs. And granted, their playoff season ended a little bit earlier than anticipated over at Highmark Stadium, but an outstanding season by the Riverhounds nonetheless. When you think about players like Nico Brett, Kyle Morton, who had outstanding individual seasons for this club. So to see them get as far as they get, I'm pretty sure that they have higher expectations, Bob Lilly and his staff, for next season. But the Riverhounds, an outstanding story in 2019. What about Pitt Volleyball in their season that they had going into the NCAA tournament? It ended a little bit early, but the way they were able to put together a fantastic season. Pitt men's soccer gets to the tournament and wins their first match in the NCAA tournament. An outstanding run for them. Duquesne men's and women's basketball both having 10-game win streaks early in the season. So there are some things, probably not on the bigger scale that we're used to talking about, but there were some things that were fun to watch as far as pretty cool stories in 2019. And I kind of took this a step further going into 2020 as far as what you expect to see. Obviously, some expectations will be a lot higher going into 2020, but we will take a break and maybe our expectations will be higher during the next segment. Stick around.